Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Tahir. I'm better known as Striker all over the forums or the places where I post. Uh, I got a lot of requests asking me to do an in-depth analysis on EURUSD if possible. So I started looking at the structure on different time frames, and it came down to a point where I thought, if I start uh, taking snaps of the charts and posting my analysis, uh, probably going to take me about an hour because I was seeing so many things out here on different time frames, and it was becoming difficult for me to summarize and basically to make time and do it. So I thought probably I'll do a short video. And now that I'm doing it, I'm thinking, how I should carry on. So I don't think I've got a weekly chart in front of me, so I'll just go with that and see where we land up. I had a post done about maybe week 8 days back where I probably pointed out that 107 handle 107.10.15 probably is the end of the correction zone, and we tested those zones twice and then dropped in towards almost towards 106, and then the lift off on the FOMC. So I'm not going to go too much in details, just to let you know that basically my specialization or my expertise is mainly doing an intraday sketches or intraday plays. That could be swing, that's mean I could be buying, selling at the same time. Not at the same time, but might be buying in the European session, might be selling in the American session, so onwards. So coming down to the point, and Euro USD, and before I carry on any further, I do want to tell you that I'm not a really big fan of Euro USD. It's been a long time, probably about a year and a half, so that my flow on Euro USD is very limited. I really do it because I think time is money, and I'm being able to find more lucrative pairs where for the same amount of time that I spend into the markets, I yield to get better results. So, but apparently, Euro is looking interesting. Some very interesting levels are coming in, so I thought I'll paint a picture out here. Do let me know how you find the short video, and then if possible leave your comments. Anyways, coming down to the point, looking at the weekly, this is a simple channel structure out here. What I want to emphasize here is that makes it easier if I do this way. I'm basically looking at, before going in depth, I'm just looking at this structure out here. A symmetrical wedge, broken under, gone a zigzag way, came back, retesting, failure, dropped it under, and now it seems like it's gonna go and test it. So just by looking at it, I'm looking at possible formation of a head and shoulder, inverse head and shoulder, probably the retest out here eventually becoming a neckline here. So that's mean either on a broader aspect. Now I'm going with a broader aspect. So either we end correction here and then we drop down to first reasonable target that I was scouting, still due south if it drops in. Anyways, if it's not, then there's a bigger grind coming up on the Euro USD. All right, this is just a pattern that I'm trying to paint it out here. What do I feel and what exactly I think is gonna go and do it? Let's just discuss a few points, and then it becomes much more easier. Again, this is a weekly. So if I go with this thing and considering it's keeps on the surge. We're expecting levels somewhere around 109.50ish on the weekly. That's just a retest point of where probably it has already broken out, and it's just want to go and retest. So this becomes important out here. This point right here, or I would say this zone. Simply, either we ending a major correction that has taken months, and then go back about doing the business that was being on the lower side right here, at least come back and test that. I've been waiting for it to go and test this, was looking for 1 or 2 change, and now probably slightly under 1 or 2. Then we could probably see a bigger bounce. That's, if it comes to it, we can track it at a later time. This could again be months, maybe the way Euro has been traveling, the way Euro has been going about doing his business. It could be months before we can come back and start looking at these areas, or probably these areas. Anyways, so the highlight point is about 109, let's say between around 109.50 for right now. Could take about a couple of weeks, or if it's coming, it should be about a week, 10 days top, and the reason I'm still giving it a week or slightly more is that because it's a slow pace. It just wants to grind, keep on doing the same ranges, and then flirt a little bit, break a little bit, and then stop going again, doing its consolidations more, and then again a little grind higher. But giving the background FOMC and a little bit from Mario Draghi that Euro economy is doing a little bit better than what they've been expected, and things like that, should be enough impetus out here that it should go and actually do it in about 3-4 days. But keeping up with the historical movement of the pair, let's say about a week. So 109.50, right? So that's the number that's coming into mind, and then this is probably about 100 pips on the higher side. This if we go has a inverse head and shoulder and this break, so this break would confirm if it goes above another 100 pips on the higher side. That's nothing more than just a confirmation that there's a possible top line zone coming out here, an extended resistance, right? So if this has to really go, it needs to carry on and probably do a deeper move. Probably gonna go all the way to 118, 119, probably a little bit more on the higher side, if I track on with the other time frame. Anyways, that's beyond right now. Showing in one thing, but then do I expect it can go all the way out here? As of right now, I'd rather not comment too much, because first thing first, it needs to go and break it before we start looking out here. But yeah, the possibility is there. As of right now, we're still debating we're gonna go higher or we're gonna flip-flop and then carry down. So just as a level zone, 109.50 is probably gonna come in very important if it comes into a test, let's say about a week, something like that. So that's the weekly aspect, the view that I'm looking at, both ways, downside or upside. 109.50 is my pick, and that's the weekly, because I think if there's a proper bigger correction ending, then this is my number out here on the weekly. I'm gonna go and switch the same chart into monthly, because this thing really fascinated me. Alright, it's probably what I'm looking at here is like, let's say this is in a nutshell, right? This is in a nutshell. I'll save this layout so I can use it again if I lose them. So here, forget about the blues out here. They are more pertaining to what the price is doing right now. But the thing that really fascinates me is the black trend line out here. And every time I use a trend line that's been coded down as a black, that's mean, that's something really important within my trading structure, or the way I do, or the way I place my trend lines. They mean the most to me. So all this implies that the bigger expected move of the euro somehow needs to come down here, which is way under parity. That's by the time I started looking, was somewhere around here, like 0.90, 91, probably maybe sub 90. By the time it comes in. But keep in mind, this is a monthly chart. The thing that really fascinated me on this chart is that as I started looking at it, I was seeing these things, trend line, but here, when it hit here, there was a substantial bounce. Then it hit here, there was a substantial bounce, but again the highs were lower, right here, right? So here comes in and then try to go back on the higher side, broke under here, right? So it came back, retested the same trend line, and by the time it did it, at that time I was active and I highlighted the zone. If we go with the pattern wise, it was giving pretty hefty, healthy bounces. So could have expected the same thing, that it can go, probably not do all the way here, but at least come down somewhere around here, on the same structure, and then grew back. Anyways, it did not happen. So that's a hint. That's a hint enough that something has gone heavy. Fundamentals. Dollar was a big time hit at these levels. So the bounces, pullbacks were really shallow. But then again, the consolidation is just like it's still been going on the same zone. So all I did was that, again, pin it down into a pattern. It's a vague looking, not a proper, but then take it down. Head and shoulder, break zone right here. Alright, what am I doing wrong? Right here. So based on that, and then I just laid out basically proportion trend line to what I can feel appropriate on a base zone. Came down here. So normally if you get a zone like this, normally even if there's a break, then you see these kind of move, that mean the price follows back to, these are like magnets. These lines are like magnets, like they attract the prices. That's mean whenever your clauses are fulfilled, few breaks here and there, then you start looking that it needs to go back and try back on from where it broke out. So these are where the ends of correction comes in, or retraces, fall short, and then go back in the same direction. But here we got first decent pullback, head back, and it became shallow. So this is probably another one that's coming into play here, alright? So indirectly it needs to break out here to go back and do the monthly retest, right? Because apparently these are very rare structure that it hitting quite a few times, but it's not propping back up. And normally, as I said, these are magnets, they require retest. So I don't know, I'm not saying that it's gonna go and do it, but I'm saying I'm still looking at lower highs, so I could be looking at this also. So I'm a kind of trader. When I analyze, I look at both the sizes. I don't go with the bias. Overall rate hikes more to come on the USD. So still dollar is more on a Trump side. I'm not saying Donald Trump, but then it's still, it can trump. And still, if I want to wait euro and wait dollar, dollar is heavier. uh, Fundamentally I think dollar is more on a boost, so still, yeah. But I'm not ignoring the fact that it can go on the higher side, because regardless of I'm not too much into fundamentals. I think I'm like 99% technical, only probably about 1% fundamental. And the reason is that if this is the range to go and play, and we are somewhere around here, and I mean, when you're looking at technical aspect from for a very long time, and then you know how they work in, got some break structure that that for it to break it out here, it requires a lot of force. So if that force is that force is in motion, then I know I don't need to know what fundamentally it is going on. I know that something extraordinary has already happened. I'll just go with the flow. So basically, these lines are my eyes, and show me the path on the price action, and I follow them blindly, looking at them. So I just follow these lines. To me, that's all it matters. It does not matter. Mario is downgrading euro, Feds are boosting the dollar. It really doesn't matter. It's always in the price action. For seasoned traders, they probably would understand what I'm talking about here. But again, I intend to keep it a short video, so I'll try to keep it short. So these are my views, right? Nothing more. That what's coming into play. So yeah, another thing that I want to highlight on this monthly video is that we haven't been able to close properly under here. So I think the next big wave, if it's coming on the lower side, it's probably waiting for, I would say, maybe a monthly close under 105, 105, 10, 15 would do. And then the next move on the lower side, we can see it unfolding. And how we're going to unfold is that, retrace back to what I showed you on the weekly. That's probably about one or two. Initial move is probably about, we'll track back again. Anyways, here on the monthly, before we do anything, monthly breakpoint for it to go and hit probably about 22 or slightly higher, it probably needs to take out 1.13 and a chain. So by the time it comes in, since it's declining, I would say 1.12 and a chain. And then that could be the initial target somehow of what probably vaguely appearing as an inverse head and shoulder here on the weekly, right? See, I haven't done, I'm just looking and spreading it out on a bigger picture. I'm not taking it out from mainly, once it start breaking on the higher side, I'll do a sketch. But assuming, maybe if it breaks on the higher side, first good target would be around 112.50, 11300, and then subsequently, you can start building your steps and ladder. You can see it, but let the move come in, then it makes it much more attractive. But as of right now on the weekly, if it falters here, then we come down to first initial lower target that I'm still looking at, probably around 101 change. So yeah, I mean, that makes really attractive on the pair to go and play around. That is 109.50ish failure, or let's say 109.30, 50ish failure, down to 101 chain. That's pretty hefty amount of pips. And then being under 1.5, then you can go back selling and retrace is probably sub parity. So that's just a sketch I'm looking at. And to make things much more easier, I'm just going to pin it down on the daily. What I've done is that, again, weekly and monthly, again, they go way bigger on time frame. So again, a step at a time. The lower you do your time frame, you see first initial hurdle, or the bumps on the way, let's say the resistance and supports and so on and so on. You see them earlier. What is required for price to go and do 109.50? Well, what it requires is that it is right now, again, this is a break structure I'm looking at here. So before we even go and hit the big 109.50. Before we even go and hit the big 150, this is what I'm looking at, which is roughly about let's say who is about I would say 108.30ish. That's a number that comes in earlier that it needs to negate, and at the same time pinning down on this structure. The reason I'm showing you structure is that I keep an open mind to things. It's like I do not just go and I might be having a strong bias, right? But I try to keep it to myself, because if I apply my bias into my trading, I can be in a lot of trouble, right? So if I don't see it, it's not meant for me. It's not that I don't look around what others are talking about and others are trying to show, but if I cannot project the same thing on my side with my own lines, then it's not for me. It doesn't mean that others are right or wrong, right? It's just it's their method, it's their trading module. It works for them. It might not work for me. So for me, what works is that what I see. If I don't see it, it's not for me. So this is what I see. I see that I can turn it down more in terms of a bear flag. So before we even go and hit 109.50, which is also a daily, I need to negate this. So from my perspective, the first end of correction right now is just coming down here, right? That can do a swing, because if this is an good end of correction, it will do a couple of swings. It needs to probably hold 106.80 zone, hit 108.20, 30, flip flop another, probably go and try the same thing again, maybe do 108.40, 50, and then if you can't go and close another one on the higher side, I'll start looking it for this direction. Because from the monthly, I can understand that 105.10 requires a monthly close under. We got maybe about 7-8 days or working days ahead, so I can make use of that. See if there's a strong backing off. I can use that to my benefit. These are things that goes in my mind that I keep a sketch of. And then it helps you go and sit on a position, or start selling it, start buying it, whatever you're trying to do based on how you're doing it. So before we even go and hit 109.50 on a daily, this is a good looking end of correction zone here, right? And if that doesn't hold, then that's where I would go start looking at higher and higher, because the projection has been that the sketch that comes in of the weekly or the monthly can become more and more valid, because your dailies and the short time frames are fading. So with those fades, that it's time for you to start actually looking on the higher side and see if it can. It's the same thing, like the monthly confirmation is weekly confirmation is on the monthly break. Similarly, the daily to confirm on the higher side, the weekly comes into play. That would be 109.50. So what it means is nothing more than it breaking, if it is breaking above, let's say 108.30, 40ish, start closing on the higher side, right? It needs to take out 109.50 or whatever the number comes in on the daily. I will track it without much of a delay. So maybe another 24 hours, 36 hours into play of closing above this level. It needs to start taking it out. It needs to start showing that it means business. Alternatively, if it closes on the higher side but fails here and comes back and start closing here, I can tell you one thing straight up: the decline from there onwards will be steeper and faster. It will be more of a fake move then. That's the only thing that I can, it comes in my mind. It will be a fake move. It'll be, trapping the traders on the buy side and taking them down to the butchery section, which is on the lower side. So it could be rampage, but then if you can lay down those points and you can understand the system and how the price move and what price action can actually do, show you left and take a right turn, right, then you can actually make more money on these, even on these failure setups, because you need to be emotionally and psychologically strong to go and convert your trades in the opposite direction. But if it starts taking higher here, then I think most of the traders will go attempting selling it, start trying to find the peaks high where the highs are coming, start selling into it. Actually, will become more of a buyer than a sell. So a caution, right? Because this pair has not done too much. So if it starts doing it, the same thing on the weekly breakpoint. On the daily is pretty much the same thing, and that's coming a little bit earlier, maybe 109, 25, 30. So on a broader, so pick off a level wise 108, 30ish. Maybe if it starts falling and then comes back retesting it, maybe 108, 30, 108, 40ish up to 50. Subsequently, this break mean for it to shoot higher, it needs to go and take out 109, 30, 50 also. Above that, then I think it's a different league. Then we're not in any ways still debating whether it's correcting, whether the correction has ended or not, because then it has basically probably flipping out on the direction, so it's probably going on the higher side. So your best guess is that you tag along on the higher side too. So that's what I have, and I thought monthly, weekly, daily combined together. If I don't know how I would have put that down into wordings, without probably confusing everybody out, but then showing and probably using a little bit of visual in this mode. You probably have to go and look at the video a couple of times to understand what I'm trying to say out here, but I'm getting a picture of what I'm looking at it. And it wasn't easy for me to go and sketch it. It's easier for me to go and tell you maybe that I don't want to go and paint so many different stories, because I see things a bit differently here. If I just lay it down, then it becomes a different story, right? But again, I am not telling you anything on this story. I'm just telling you on a bigger picture, right? So maybe we're not vaulting this, then looks like a head and shoulder, maybe a neckline here, or 106.80. That's why 106.80 zone is more of a pick for me than maybe 107.10, which it can do this. So 106.80 is where I think it can flip flop, even though it looks like it can form a head and shoulder. So, but then I'm not going with these smaller patterns out here, though I'm looking at it. Might be looking probably on the hourly also. Yeah, my hourly is already stretched out. That's mean I'm probably looking into a bit of head and shoulder. But let's go with the level 106. Maybe by the time it comes into play, maybe 106.70, 106.80. So 106.80 is something like line in the sand that it needs to go and grab and hold, and then even if it's showing some pattern, because patterns normally they always prevail, but then when I say always and always, mostly it's about 97% of the time they prevail, regardless of whatever the fundamental is coming in. The patterns, they, especially head and shoulder, inverse head and shoulder, they edge. But here I'm willing to give a little bit of probability clause that might fail, but it'll be a different story if the EUR is trading under 106.70, 106.80. Then it'll be a different story. It'll become much more difficult. That's been probably we're looking for some dip, and then if it wants to grind back up again, while being above 105, that's a different story. I'm not gonna go and comment on that. That's more of an intraday place. So which is not what I'm sketching out here. Again, weekly, monthly is actually interesting, because this is a vacuum. What I mean to say is that this is monthly chart. There is no price action here. There is no price action here. There is absolutely no price action here. here we just got a small, it's just a small. So could it be that, you know, it's time for it to start doing this before it breaks back or breaks lower? But if it does that, then the next break would be won't be a small break. It would do a lot of damage to whichever side it ends up going in. But yeah, you know, if you're following price action, then this is something that is rare. So, you know, keep an eye on that. And again, pick off a level 108, starting 108, 25.30, probably 108, 45.50, and if it comes back and retest it. But main thing on the higher side, 109.50, plus minus 10 15 pips. So, you know, it's a weekly, so 10 15 pips is nothing. It's not too much on, you know, being coming down short or coming down on the higher side. So plus I played a few. There are more patterns into it. You know, I don't want to go and complicate more things, but then, you know, just want to give you an edge. And I think I'm already half an hour into this video. It's supposed to be a short video, maybe it's 5-7 minutes, but then maybe now you know what it means. Like, you know, if I would have gone and started writing it, I'll probably not be done in 3-4 hours. So please do let me know how you feel about it, and leave your comments, and I always take them positively. Whatever you do, trade smart, do your own homework, look at what you're seeing, what you're comfortable with, and then I'm not at all giving any trade advices here, or I'm just laying down my wheel, my sketches, and hope everybody does well. Thank you very much. Have a pleasant trading week ahead.